Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something really interesting for anyone in the fitness business. How can you create more value for your members and, well, also boost your income at the same time?
It's the key question, isn't it?
Exactly. And our source for this is a white paper, Building Community Through Small Group Training. More Impact, More Income by jthomas.
Resource.
Yeah, so our mission here is basically to pull out the key insights, really understand the potential of what they call small group training, or SGT.
Right. And it's important to see SGT as more than just, another service offering. The paper argues it can actually strengthen the whole business foundation.
Okay, so let's define that first. What exactly is small group training?
So typically we're talking about maybe 2 to 6 people working out together.
Okay, small group.
Yeah, with one coach guiding them. But the key thing is, even though they share the time and space, the workouts can still be personalized.
Ah, so not just everyone doing the exact same thing.
Not necessarily. It's kind of a hybrid. You get some of that one-on-one personalization feel, but with the energy and the lower cost of group fitness.
That blend sounds really appealing, that mix of personal touch and group vibe.
It really is.
Okay, so let's get into the numbers. The paper makes a pretty strong financial case, right? Can you break down those economic advantages?
Absolutely. The paper lays it out quite clearly. Think about a standard one-on-one personal training session. Maybe it brings in, say, $75 an hour for the gym.
Okay, standard rate.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, imagine that same coach in that same hour trains a small group, let's say 4 clients.
4 people.
And each pays $35. Suddenly, that hour brings in $140.
Wow, okay, that's nearly double.
Exactly, nearly double the revenue for the same slot of the coach's time. And importantly, it makes that coaching more affordable for more people.
Right, so it opens the door for clients who maybe couldn't stretch to full one-on-one pricing.
Precisely. You expand your reach while boosting your earning potential per hour. It's a win-win.
That revenue jump is definitely eye-catching. But the paper argues it's not just about the money, right? It talks a lot about client retention.
Yeah, that's a huge piece of it. Retention.
What drives that? Why does SGT seem to make clients stick around longer?
Well, it taps into something fundamental, really, our social side.
How so?
When you train consistently with the same small group of people, you start to build relationships. With the coach, yes, but also with each other.
Like a little team.
Exactly like a team. There's this shared journey. And that builds a sense of belonging. Plus, there's that built-in accountability.
The where were you factor.
Sort of, but usually in a supportive way. If you miss a session, people notice. Not like peer pressure, but more like, hey, we missed you. You feel part of something.
So it becomes more than just a workout you slot into your diary.
Right. The paper suggests it can become a social anchor, an emotional one even. And we all know, in business, better retention means more stable revenue, predictable growth. It's foundational.
Yeah, I could definitely see how that shared struggle and success would build stronger ties than just showing up for a solo session. Okay, so from the owner's side, SGT also seems more efficient with coaching time.
Oh, for sure. Think about a coach's schedule. Back-to-back one-on-one sessions can lead to burnout, right?
Yeah, I can imagine.
With SGT, that coach can engage effectively with, say, 4 or 5 clients at once. They're still providing real value, real guidance, but it's a more leveraged use of their time.
And maybe better for the coach's energy levels, too.
Absolutely. Plus, they get to build ongoing relationships with these groups. The paper even mentions it can open up career paths for coaches, especially in, boutique studios.
How so? Like leading their own SGT programs?
Yeah, developing specializations, leading signature programs. It gives them a chance to grow beyond just individual client work in those smaller, more community-focused gyms.
Okay, so it's financially smart, builds loyalty, good for coaches. Sounds like a really solid model.
Yeah.
Let's dive deeper into that community thing. The paper mentions shared wins. What does that mean?
It's about the psychology of achieving things together. When the whole group pushes through something tough.
Like a really hard workout.
Exactly. Or maybe everyone hits a personal best around the same time. That feeling of success is amplified because you shared it.
Oh.
People cheer each other on, they push each other a little harder maybe, and then they celebrate together. It just naturally deepens the gym's culture, makes it more supportive.
That collective energy is powerful. And you mentioned accountability before. The paper calls it built-in accountability. How does that work in practice?
Well, it's often quite subtle. In these small, consistent groups, you just get to know who's usually there.
Right.
So if someone doesn't show, it's noticed. Not in a judgmental way usually, but there's this sense of, oh, hope Sarah's okay, or we missed Mark today.
So it encourages consistency.
Yeah, it taps into that feeling of not wanting to let the team down, maybe, or just knowing you'll be missed. It leads to better attendance, more consistency, and that feeling of responsibility to the group.
Accountability through connection, not through pressure. I like that. And it seems like SGT finds a sweet spot, doesn't it, in terms of being inclusive?
It really does. The paper points out it can feel less intimidating than, say, a huge boot camp class.
Which can be overwhelming for some.
Definitely. But at the same time, it's more social and motivating than training completely alone one-on-one.
Right.
And crucially, you still get more personal attention than in a big group fitness class where it's easy to get lost in the crowd.
So it hits that balance.
Yeah, it creates this environment where people feel seen, they feel heard, supported. It's quite unique.
And that individual attention, even within the group, must strengthen the bond with the trainer too, beyond just delivering the workout.
Absolutely. Because the trainer isn't spread too thin, they can watch each person. They can give specific cues, make adjustments, tweak the intensity for individuals.
Tailoring it on the fly.
Exactly. And that mix, getting personalized guidance while being part of this supportive group that builds real trust and rapport with the coach, that's gold for long-term loyalty.
Makes total sense. Okay, so if a gym owner is listening and thinking, all right, I want to start this, or maybe I want to improve what I'm already doing, where does the paper suggest they start?
The advice is pretty practical. Look at your current members first.
Okay.
Who among your one-on-one clients might be looking for something a bit more affordable but still wants that guidance? SGT could be perfect for them.
A transition path.
Yeah. And also, who in your big group classes seems like they want a bit more personalization, a bit more connection? Maybe they're ready for that step up.
So leverage the people you already have.
Exactly. Start with those existing relationships and needs.
Smart. Now the big question, pricing. How do you position this? What does the paper say?
It gives a suggested range, maybe $25 to $50 per session. But, that really depends on your local market.
Sure, location matters.
The key strategy, though, is positioning. It needs to feel like better value than a standard group class, so it justifies a higher price point, but still be clearly more accessible than one-on-one training. You're selling that unique blend of benefits. It's value pricing, really.
Communicating that hybrid value. Got it. The paper also talks about defining time blocks. Why is having set, consistent times for SGT so important?
Consistency is huge here.
Yeah.
Having regular SGT slots, like always at 6 a.m., maybe 9 a.m., 5:30 p.m., whatever fits your clientele.
Predictable times.
Yes. It does a couple of things. For members, it makes it easy to build the sessions into their weekly routine. It becomes a habit.
Makes scheduling easier for them.
And for the gym, it optimizes your coach's time and your facility usage. Those blocks are dedicated, staffed, and hopefully filled. It creates structure.
Efficient use of resources. Makes sense. But inside those sessions, how do you make sure it is personalized? It can't just be 4 people doing jump squats together, right?
Definitely not. The paper really stresses the need for proper assessments up front, good onboarding.
Knowing where each person starts.
Exactly. And then the trainer needs to be equipped to run individualized programs within that group session, modifying exercises, offering different levels, giving specific corrections.
So everyone feels like it's their workout, even in a group.
That's the goal. It takes skillful coaching, but that's what makes SGT truly effective.
Okay. And to really boost that community feel and celebrate progress, the paper suggests celebrating milestones. What kind of things are we talking about?
Oh, some really nice practical ideas, like maybe having a squad of the month, recognizing a group that's really supportive or consistent.
I like that.
Or celebrating group achievements, like, this group just collectively deadlifted 500 pounds more than last month. Something like that.
Creates a team goal.
Yeah. Or even individual consistency awards, like hitting 100 sessions. The key is making it visible. Put it on a board, share it on social media. It reinforces that connection.
Taps into pride. Both individual and group. Great ideas. Okay, let's circle back to the revenue potential for a moment. The paper had a scenario, right, to show the scalability.
It did. It's a good illustration. They imagine one coach running 4 SGT sessions a day.
Okay, 4 sessions.
With 4 clients in each session.
So 16 client interactions per day.
Right, and charging $35 per client per session.
Okay, math time. 4 sessions, 4 clients, $35.
Comes out to $560 in revenue for that coach. that
The
day.
$560 a day. Wow.
And if you run that 5 days a week, that's $2,800 weekly. Annually, just from that one coach's SGT schedule, you're looking at potential revenue of around $145,600.
Just from one coach focusing on SGT, that's significant.
Very. And then they extrapolate, what if you have 2 coaches doing that, or 3? You could realistically be looking at $300,000, maybe $400,000 or more in annual revenue from SGT alone.
And presumably with lower overhead than trying to scale purely through one-on-one.
Generally, yes. It's a very profitable model when implemented well.
Those numbers are definitely compelling. But as you said earlier, and as the paper wraps up, it's really positioned as more than just revenue, isn't it? It's about culture.
Absolutely. That's the final takeaway. SGT isn't just a tactic, it's a strategy.
A strategy for what, specifically?
For attracting members, for keeping them longer, for boosting coach satisfaction and even retention. Yes, it drives higher revenue per hour, but maybe the biggest impact is on loyalty and community.
Building that stronger connection.
Exactly, that sense of belonging.
It feels like, especially now with so many big fitness chains out there, SGT offers a way for smaller gyms, boutique studios to really stand out.
That's a perfect way to put it, that focus on personal connection within a community that can be a massive differentiator.
Making people feel like they genuinely belong, not just like a number.
That's the core message, I think. In a world where things can feel impersonal, SGT lets you make every member feel part of something special.
Okay, so summing up our deep dive into Jim Thomas's white paper. Small group training looks like a really powerful model. It can boost the bottom line significantly, but maybe more importantly, it strengthens the whole community fabric of a fitness business.
Precisely stated. It hits both the financial goals and those crucial community building aspects. It really leverages that magic combo of shared experience and individual attention.
It really does. And maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Think about those core principles we discussed. That blend of shared experience, that group energy, combined with personalized attention. How could those ideas apply beyond just fitness? Where else in life, or maybe in business, could combining individual focus with collective energy lead to better outcomes and stronger connections?
That's a great question to ponder. The applications could be wider than we think.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.